Ever felt like you were an adult in a kid's body? Like you were the responsible one, the little grown-up, while everyone else got to be, well, a kid. If this sounds familiar, you might have experienced what psychologists call parentification, or what we often refer to as growing up too fast. It's more than just being mature for your age. It's about taking on roles and responsibilities that belong to adults, long before you're emotionally or developmentally ready. This isn't about a child who's naturally responsible. It's about a childhood that was cut short. Today, we're diving deep into the psychology of children who grew up too fast, exploring why it happens, the long-term effects it has on adulthood, and most importantly, how to heal from it. If you've ever felt this way, know that you're not alone, and this video is for you. So, what does it actually mean to grow up too fast? It's when a child is forced to take on adult roles. This can happen in a few different ways. There's instrumental parentification, which is about taking on practical, tangible tasks. Maybe you were responsible for cooking all the meals for your family, managing household bills, or taking care of younger siblings full-time because your parents were working, absent, or unable to. Then there's emotional This is when a child becomes the emotional caretaker for a parent or family member. You might have been your parents' confidant, their shoulder to cry on, or the mediator in their arguments. You learned to suppress your own needs to manage their feelings. In either case, the core issue is a role reversal. The natural flow of care from parent to child gets flipped, and the child starts taking care of the parent, physically or emotionally. Why does this happen? The reasons are complex and varied. It often stems from family dysfunction. This could be due to a parent struggling with a chronic physical or mental illness, which leaves them unable to fulfill their parenting duties. Substance abuse is another common factor, where a parent's addiction makes them unreliable and unpredictable, forcing the child to step up. Financial hardship can also play a huge role. If parents are working multiple jobs just to survive, the oldest child might have to become a surrogate parent to their younger siblings. Divorce, or the loss of a parent, can also trigger this, as the remaining parent leans on the child for support, or the child feels they need to fill the void left by the absent parents. It's important to remember that most parents don't intentionally parentify their children. It's often a result of their own struggles, trauma, or lack of resources. But regardless of the intention, the impact on the child is profound. Now, let's talk about the psychological blueprint that gets created when you grow up this way. As a child, you become hyper-independent. You'll learn very early on that you can only rely on yourself. Asking for help feels weak or dangerous because, in your experience, it either wasn't available or it was met with disappointment. You also become a master of suppression. Your own feelings or fears, your sadness, your need for plaget, pushed down because there's no space for them. The needs of the family always come first. This leads to a strong sense of responsibility, which might sound like a good thing, and in some ways, it is. These kids are often seen as mature, reliable, and high-achieving. They're the good kids, but this responsibility is a heavy burden, carried on shoulders that were never meant to bear it. It's a survival mechanism that shapes your entire worldview. As these children enter adulthood, the coping mechanisms that help them survive childhood often become their biggest obstacles. That hyperindependence can make it incredibly difficult to form deep, intimate relationships. You might struggle with vulnerability because being vulnerable as a child was unsafe. You might find it hard to trust others to take care of you, even in a healthy partnership, because you've always been the caregiver. This can lead to a pattern of attracting partners who need fixing or caretaking, recreating the dynamic you grew up with. You might also be a people pleaser, constantly putting others' needs before your own, because that's how you learned to earn love and maintain peace. You might not even know what you truly want or need, because you've spent a lifetime ignoring your own inner voice. Anxiety and depression are also incredibly common. The constant state of high alert you lived in as a child doesn't just switch off. It can manifest as generalized anxiety, a feeling of impending doom, or a constant need to control your environment. You might feel a deep sense of emptiness or chronic fatigue. This is sometimes called burnout, but it's a burnout that started in childhood. You've been running on fumes for decades. There's also a profound sense of a lost childhood. You might feel a strange mix of resentment and grief for the carefree years you never had. Seeing other people of close, supportive families can be incredibly painful, highlighting what you missed out on. It's a unique kind of grief for a life you were supposed to live, but didn't. So, if this all sounds painfully familiar, what can you do? The journey of healing is about reparenting yourself. It's about giving yourself the care, validation, and permission you never received as a child. The first step, and often the hardest, is acknowledgement. Acknowledge what you went through. Your experience was real. It was difficult, and it's okay to be angry or sad about it. You weren't just mature for your age. You were a child carrying adult burdens. This isn't about blaming your parents. It's about validating your own experience. Understanding the why behind your behaviors is incredibly empowering. It helps you see that your struggles with relationships, anxiety, or people-pleasing aren't because you're broken, but because you developed brilliant survival strategies that are no longer serving you. Next, it's time to set boundaries. This is crucial. As a former parentified child, you likely have porous or non-existent boundaries. Learning to say no is a revolutionary act. Start small. Say no to a small request you don't have the energy for. Notice the discomfort and sit with it. Remind yourself that your needs are valid. You are no longer responsible for managing everyone else's emotions. Their reaction to your no is their responsibility, not yours. This will feel unnatural and selfish at first, because your entire system is wired to put others first. But it's the most loving thing you can do for yourself. Learning to identify and express your own needs is another key piece of the puzzle. You've spent so long suppressing them, you might not even know what they are. Start by checking in with yourself throughout the day. Ask simple questions. Am I hungry? Am I tired? What do I feel right now? What do I want to do? You're essentially building a new relationship with yourself, one based on curiosity and compassion instead of duty and suppression. Allow yourself to play. What did you love to do as a kid before the responsibilities piled on? Was it drawing, dancing, building things, or just being silly? Reconnecting with that playful inner child is not frivolous. It's a powerful act of healing. It helps you reclaim the joy and spontaneity that were taken from you. Finally, and this is so important, seek support. You've been hyper-independent for long enough. Healing doesn't have to be a solo journey. Therapy, especially with a professional who understands childhood trauma and family systems, can be like a therapist can provide a safe space for you to process your grief, learn to set boundaries, and build a new, healthier relationship with yourself. Support groups can also be incredibly validating, connecting you with others who truly understand what you've been through. If professional help isn't accessible right now, talk to a trusted friend. The act of sharing your story and being heard can be profoundly healing. Healing from a parentified childhood is a journey, not a destination. There will be good days and hard days, but by acknowledging your past, setting boundaries, reconnecting with your needs, and seeking support, you can begin to unpack that heavy backpack of responsibility you've been carrying for so long. You can learn to be the compassionate adult for your inner child, and finally give yourself the freedom to live a life that is truly your own. You deserve to be cared for. You deserve to rest. And you deserve to be happy. Thank you so much for joining me today for this important conversation. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe for more content on psychology and self-growth. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.